In today's fight news, we start off with the UFC 303 press conference being held in the 3 Arena in Dublin, Ireland, selling out in less than 5 minutes. John Kavanagh, the head coach of Conor McGregor, posted on his X account, "Need to open the rest of the arena at UFC." On an episode of Funky and the Champ podcast, former UFC fighter Ben Askren says former champ Conor McGregor will forever be jealous of Khabib Nurmagomedov and the beef will never die out, stating deep down in his heart what he wanted to be was the most respected fighting champion on planet Earth. Speaking of the former lightweight champion Khabib, he posted on his Instagram account a picture of himself with a remote controller above champion Islam Makhachev, hinting that he is going to be in the corner of the champion this weekend. The lightweight champion Makhachev confirmed this, stating, "Eagle is landed in New Jersey. He's going to be my corner. Honestly, I'm very happy because he's one of the best corner, coach, brother, friend." After fighters like Bryce Mitchell, Max Holloway, and Alex Pereira recently got custom shorts made for their fights, it looks like Dustin Poirier is going to get the same treatment ahead of his UFC title shot against Islam Makhachev. Poirier recently confirmed this on his X account, posting a picture of the floral pattern shorts that he'll be wearing this weekend at UFC 302. On an episode of the Believe You Me podcast, former middleweight champion Michael Bisping says when you compare the records of Dustin Poirier and Islam Makhachev, Poirier comes out on top because he's fought the tougher opposition, although Makhachev has a win over Charles Oliveira, who beat Poirier in a title fight. Ahead of this weekend's UFC 302 co-main event between former middleweight champion Sean Strickland and former title challenger Paulo Costa, the former featherweight kingpin Alexander Volkanovski said that Costa looked pretty unbeatable in his last showing against Robert Whittaker. Even though he lost, he says most fighters, including Strickland, are going to have a hard time with that version of Costa. While speaking to MMA Junkie, number 2 ranked welterweight Bilal Muhammad says his title fight against Leon Edwards in Manchester at UFC 304 will be largely a pro-Muhammad crowd because he says Manchester is full of Muslims and he believes that they will outnumber any Edwards fans. Interim heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall tells the Mac Life that Cyril Gane has turned down a few fights against him. He says that he's not saying he's ducking him and he's not saying he's not ducking him. He said that Cyril Gane is busy being an actor and he wishes him all the best. Longtime UFC veteran Matt Brown was on an episode of The Fighter and the Writer in which he discussed Ronda Rousey's recent statements about not being accepted by the MMA community. Brown blames this on Rousey's notorious bad attitude towards the media and towards fans. He said if she showed a little humility, that he thinks the people in the media and fans would welcome her with open arms. It looks like welterweight standout Joaquin Buckley is back at firing shots at fighters as he took to his social media account to throw more jabs at Cub Swanson after the two went back and forth on X recently. In his video tirade, he questions what Swanson has done in the sport, saying that he doesn't even think he's ever been ranked. MMA reporter Aaron Bronstetter actually weighed in on these claims made by Buckley on his X account, stating, "The UFC rankings launched in February of 2013, where Swanson was ranked for 6+ years from launch until May of 2019. EA Sports recently announced 3 new additions to the UFC 5 video game: Benoit Saint-Denis, Roman Dolidze, and Anthony Hernandez." Top-ranked welterweight Jack Maddalena posted on his social media account that he is out of the upcoming UFC 305 event in his hometown of Perth, Australia. The fighter says this is due to an injury he sustained in his last matchup against Gilbert Burns, where he broke his arm mid-fight. The injury has not been able to heal from infection, and the infection has recently spread to the bone. Just announced for UFC Denver on July 13th, Christian Rodriguez will be fighting Julian Erosa. Now on to some boxing news, as Turki Al-Usyk confirms on his X account that the rematch between undisputed heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk and former champion Tyson Fury will now be taking place on the 21st of December of this year during Riyadh season. Famed boxing promoter Eddie Hearn says he thinks that heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk will still likely be stripped of his IBF heavyweight title, although he was recently granted an exemption by the IBF to fight Tyson Fury in their rematch. Hearn says that he thinks Anthony Joshua will fight the winner of Filip Hrgovic and Daniel Dubois for the vacant IBF title on September 21st. Former longtime WBC heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder says that he thinks Alexander Usyk beating Tyson Fury was a great fight, but he says Usyk was robbed of a knockout in the 9th round. The Bronze Bomber also tells Seconds Out Live that if he loses this weekend's matchup against Zhang, that this might be his last time in the boxing ring and that he may retire. Undisputed super middleweight champion Canelo Alvarez is reported to be vacating his IBF super middleweight title instead of fighting mandatory challenger William Skull. Just announced, Christian and Billy will face off against Sergey Derevyanchenko on August 17th in Quebec. According to Fox Sports, Sam Goodman, the mandatory IBF challenger to Naoya Inoue, has decided to take another fight in July, which frees up Inoue to fight someone else this September. Goodman is hoping that he wins that fight so that he can get his mandatory title shot in December against Inoue. Coming off his recent win against Josh Taylor, Jack Catterall recently called out Ryan Garcia to a match, stating, "Any weight Garcia feels good at, I'll beat him at." After it was recently announced that Iron Mike Tyson had to be taken to the hospital due to an ulcer flare-up that occurred during a flight, the Hall of Fame fighter Tyson posted on his X account, "Now feeling 100%, even though I don't need to be to beat Jake Paul." Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the content, like and subscribe.